ViacomCBS has released a bunch of information regarding their current earnings reports. We also have some quick updates regarding some new Star Trek shows in production. Let's pour it up! Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We've got a kind of quick one here for you today. Just a couple of little news bits I want to go ahead and get everybody caught up on in regards to Star Trek. So let's first jump right into some financial information and some rather boring stuff that we got from ViacomCBS, but is directly related to the future and success of the Star Trek franchise. Okay, so let's start off with some kind of bad news. So far, post-merger of Viacom/Paramount and CBS, their stock price has continued to go down. Now, this was, of course, kind of expected in relations to the merger. A lot of news reports did come out speculating that the stock price was going to take a bit of a hit because of that merger, but has surpassed, that kind of drop-off has surpassed different people's expectations and projections, and it's actually quite a bit worse than what people thought it was originally, including a massive 18% reduction on 20 February of this year. Now, this is likely due to the kind of, I guess you could say theatrical failures of a few films that Paramount had towards the end, the kind of Q4 of 2019, specifically the losses incurred from Gemini Man with Will Smith and that weird Terminator movie that I guess nobody really saw. I didn't see it. I don't think a lot of people enjoyed it, so it didn't make a whole lot of money, but that is likely the reasons for it. And before everybody starts getting all doom and gloom about this, the more exciting news that we got from a couple of tweets posted up by ViacomCBS just the other day actually goes to showcase that they had a record-breaking $1.6 billion revenue for online streaming content for the past year, along with a significant spike in subscribers. Paid, consistent subscribers to CBS All Access / the Showtime streaming services, bringing that total number amount to 11 million paid subscribers, increasing their year-to-year end increase by 50%. So that is massive. And this is also, of course, on the heels of their announcement of creating some kind of combined Viacom, CBS, Paramount streaming service. Now, what that's going to look like, what that's going to be, it's unclear. I've already speculated on that on this channel very heavily over the past couple of months, kind of leading up to the merger and then post-merger. So obviously they plan on kind of incorporating a lot of that Viacom content like Nickelodeon, all the different Paramount movies, probably Showtime will get tucked in there, and all of those other, I think it's like MTV and different companies like that are all going to kind of get plugged into that kind of programming and then allow us to kind of view it from a single streaming platform. Now, does that mean they're going to get rid of CBS All Access? I'm not quite sure how they're going to cut that, particular cake up, but I would just stay tuned for that. But so the excitement is somewhat building for this potential important streaming service. CBS is definitely trying to continue to stay in the fight for the streaming services. Obviously, everybody's getting into the streaming fight right now, and some are already starting to die off and kind of consolidate, while others are continuing to hold on. So it'll be curious to see how that kind of unfolds, but those are good numbers in conjunction with the bad number of their stock price. So we'll see how that kind of balances out over the next year, but I wanted to go ahead and get both those little bits of information out there for you. Okay, so moving on to Star Trek show news updates. It would appear as though Section 31 has been delayed until 2021. Now, this is likely due, in my personal opinion, due to two specific factors. A, the kind of lukewarm response fans gave to the show kind of after it was kind of announced, and they continued to give updates on it. People weren't particularly interested in the show overall. And of course, Michelle Yeoh's very, very tight, busy schedule. She just got off of a production of Discovery Season 3 and has multiple films already slated on her IMDb profile page, including several sequels that she's going to be working on. So obviously, she's looking to kind of continue to diversify her, working portfolio and doesn't want to get tied directly into specific Star Trek productions. So it has been delayed until 2021. Now, no official announcement or kind of bits of information have been released from, Star Trek, Secret Hideout / Viacom and all those folks, but we did kind of confirm this delay from the IATSE website, the Directors Guild Hot List, and Production Weekly, which are kind of the three locations where I and many other sources utilize in order to kind of keep up to date with what's going on with the different Star Trek productions. So I feel like this is a pretty solid bit of information. Now, I know that this may spell doom and gloom to some folks. I don't necessarily think that's the case, considering all of the other information that we just recently got from ViacomCBS as well. So according to a couple of tweets, again from ViacomCBS, we have additional shows in productions. We obviously have Picard going into season 2, possibly a third season. We have Discovery that's likely going to go ahead and get its 4th season according to Production Weekly. We have Lower Decks that's in production. The Prodigy, which is that Nickelodeon show. They haven't announced the name yet, but we kind of did some sleuthing, I think maybe a couple of months ago, where one of the artists, I think it was, that was working on the show accidentally published the name of the show. That may still change, but likely it's still The Prodigy, so that's the Nickelodeon show. We have the Section 31 show, and then the 2 unnamed live action shows. And of course, we also have the, short treks that will likely still continue on in production. So there are plenty of shows for Star Trek still in production of various, developmental stages. Some are obviously earlier on than others, where like Lower Decks is probably already through most of their seasons. Worf, you just fell, buddy. Obviously, that Nickelodeon show's probably been on, on the roll for a little while now. We haven't seen any information about it, but obviously we'll probably get something this year at San Diego and New York Comic Con, possibly even at Star Trek Las Vegas in August. Who knows? But so we know those informations. And then, of course, these unnamed shows that were announced a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now by Alex Kurtzman. So there's a lot of Star Trek content being produced right now. Additionally, ViacomCBS also went ahead and kind of officially talked about, not necessarily the first time, but kind of really the first time officially acknowledged the presence of a new Star Trek film being produced. Now, this is that Noah Hawley film that kind of broke about a month or two ago, and there was a lot of discussion of whether or not it was going to be a complete new reboot or if it was going to be tied to the Kelvin films. There's really no information about it at this point. I know that Simon Pegg, who plays Scotty inside of the Kelvin films, went on air and said, I don't know anything about this, but I wish him the best, and I haven't seen anything just yet. So who knows really what it's going to kind of entail, but it is important to note that I did confirm that the generic Star Trek placeholder on Production Weekly is indeed kind of connected back to that film's production. So obviously it's continuing to move forward. Now, whether Noah Hawley is still going to be involved with it, if it's going to be Kelvin, it's going to be something new, whatever it is, it's unclear at this point, but it is continuing to move forward with Viacom acknowledging it, saying that it's going to be released through Paramount, Paramount Pictures and stuff like that. So that's really great news. All right, everybody, that kind of wraps up our quick little news Earl Grey pour-up video. Now, I am curious to hear what you guys and gals think about this stuff in regards to the stockholder information, all this new information about, this massive increase of subscribers for CBS All Access / Showtime, and that $1.6 billion in revenue for their streaming services. Do you think things are looking bad? Do you think they're looking good? Do you think they're kind of somewhere in the middle? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. I'm also curious to hear what you think about the delay of Section 31 and what those other 2 shows are. Jerry Ryan did do an interview just recently online where she talked about doing some more work with Star Trek separate from that of Picard. Now, that may mean more short treks, but it's likely to be that one of the 2 unnamed live action shows is likely going to be a Captain Pike series. I mean, it's kind of a given at this point, considering how much Alex Kurtzman likes to tease everybody about it and how many hints that they've dropped about it, how much have outcry has been to give us that show. So I would not be surprised if that's one of the shows we get. So that's definitely one, but what about the other live action show? What do you think that may be? I'm curious to hear what you guys and gals think about it. Go ahead and get those comments up down below, and we'll go ahead and get the conversation started. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!